Hey guys and welcome back. Okay, so I'm gonna be talking more the 100 on this video, the breakdown of the trailer of the second episode. I'm not necessarily gonna do this every week, but I was tempted this time around because there's a lot on this trailer, along with the trailer of the season in its entirety, that does give me a lot of ideas as to what's gonna happen this season, a lot of theories. Well, it is actually more like multiple theories on several fronts based on the trailers and, the premiere of the season, and pretty much when put together, these theories will form this one big theory for the entire season. So I'm going to be talking about these two trailers, I'm going to be talking those theories, I'm going to be talking about something that I missed mentioning on my review of the premiere of the season. But before I do that, let's first check out the episode 2 trailer. Let's go.
We're stuck here. This is your home now. What is this?
Isolation madness. Interesting taste in toys.
Alright, so if we look at this trailer, there's not really much to break down. There are a few takeaways out of it, including 1, we do not see Bellamy at all on this trailer. I don't think that going through the anomaly did take him to the same place as Hope, Dioza, Octavia, Echo, and Gabriel. I think he's in another place, a completely different place. But 2, Gabriel refers to this place as isolation madness. Now when he says that, I think he's talking about Dioza. She went mad because of being isolated in this place, but at the same time, it is an isolated place. And the question is this the only place that the anomaly would lead to? And I think not. I just mentioned that when talking about Bellamy. So my theory here is it is not. It's just one of many places, a dimension that they ended up going to, the one Dioza is in, someplace that's like a prison. If someone unwanted crosses through the anomaly, okay, he's gonna end up there because we know the anomaly is under someone's control, those people that we met on the premiere. So it is possible that they do have control on where they send you if you decide to go in, if they don't want to fight you, but at the same time they don't want you going to a certain place, they just want to get rid of you. So that's what happened with Dioza, that's happened with the rest of the team, but I would assume it's not what happened with Bellamy. So what is this place, and how did Hope grow up so fast? Here's what I think. I think this place is either another dimension to our current universe, the universe in which the events of the series happen, or it is another universe where this planet, wherever Dioza is pretty much abandoned and she had to be in isolation madness, like Gabriel refers to it. And the answer to how Hope grew up so fast within this place is either that pregnant Dioza, close to the end of last season, got transported back in time, not just in space, but in time as well, and that's how she had Hope, that's how she raised her, and that is how Hope knew Octavia, because she's met her before. When Octavia went through at the end of last season, she was transported in time as well, so she was there for part of the raising of Hope, if not for the entirety of it, making it easy for Hope coming out of the anomaly at the end of last season to identify Octavia. I mean, when you think about it, she even apologized. She apologized in a sincere fashion as well, like she knew this person, like she's hurting someone that she knows and that she cares about. This means that if this theory were to be true, then we've got an explanation of how Hope grew up so fast, how she knew Octavia, and how the anomaly works. I mean, I'm sure Hope did not go out there planning on killing Octavia without knowing what she looked like, and relying solely on the chance that Octavia would realize who she is, recognize her without ever even seeing her as a baby, and go, oh, Hope. So the time travel bit is a big possibility over here. The other solution is this place exists out of time, and somehow, some way, you could work the same theory out with Octavia, Hope, and Dioza. Okay, too many science fiction shows, too many comic books, it all adds up to these crazy theories that I have over here, but I'm definitely not discarding them. I'm not saying they're necessarily true, but I also believe they are a possibility. But that brings us to the final takeaway out of this trailer. The upcoming episode is going to have a little bit of a horror mood to it. There's the possibility that this episode is going to be the other side of the anomaly centric. So we're not going to see anything that's happening in Sanctum. So the Russel, Sheidheda, Clarke story, that's not going to continue on next week's episode. But that though brings us to that one thing that I forgot mentioning on my review of the premiere of the season, which is basically what Clarke said in her speech at the end of the episode, about everyone in Sanctum being the last survivors of mankind. And that's not really true, because we did meet on the same episode other survivors. We did on the same episode meet the people that attacked Bellamy, dragged him through the Anomaly, and then attacked Echo, Hope, and Gabriel. So yeah, the people in Sanctum aren't really mankind's last survivors. There are others out there, and they have got some kind of plan that we're gonna understand over the course of this season. Okay, so who are these other people? Who do I think they are? I think they're scientists or descendants of some scientists that were part of previous Eligius missions, other Eligius missions other than the one on Sanctum. You do need to remember over here that Monty did crack the code on the Eligius files, however though he did not know what planet survived or what planet was survivable, because there weren't enough communications post the apocalypse in order to let him know what went down on those planets. So yeah, the answer is Sanctum is not the only moon, not the only planet. There's at least another one with survivors, and they themselves are here in order to bring about some sort of change on a mission of their own, possibly a good one. We're going to discover that as we go. I think it's a good one, and I'm going to talk about that in detail in a moment. But in the spirit of not wasting too much time, there are 3 specific moments on the trailer of Season 7 that I want to present over here, and I want to discuss them as part of my theory. So let's go check them out first, and then break them down as part of that theory. Let's go.
You are the key to winning the last war mankind will ever wage.
You're being sent to the ground. All 100 of you.
If you fail, all our people are dead too.
May we meet again.
The Anomaly is a wormhole.
Where does it lead?
Everywhere.
Okay, so you've got the first one. You are the key to winning the last war that mankind will ever wage. You've got the second one, the entire 132 years ago bit. And finally, you've got the part about the Anomaly being a wormhole. How do we combine all these 3 together? Let's start with the 132 years ago bit. On the outside, this part is pretty simple. It's kind of telling us the history. They started there, now they are here. But then again, the general trope of any trailer for any series for a new season, when it comes to a series that has a story that's carrying over from a previous season, is that the core trailer, the very first trailer, the trailer of the season, refers to the events from the previous season and then jumps into the events of the new season. However, though this one goes back to Season 1, brings up the 132 years ago bit casually, but I think it's sort of an Easter egg. It's possibly an Easter egg. Combine that with the statement, you are the key to winning the last war that mankind will ever wage, and with the fact that the Anomaly is referred to as a wormhole, and when the question of where does it lead is posed, the response that we get from Raven is everywhere. And everywhere could be everywhere in space and time. I don't think it's time alone based on next week's trailer, and I don't think it's space alone because that kind of stands against everything that I'm presenting right now, right here. Now let us not forget as well that the trailer included stuff from the very first season, from other seasons beyond the first season, and then the tagline read, all the conflict, all the chaos, all will be revealed. And that basically makes me think they're talking about everything, all the past seasons, all the events, everything from Season 1, which they included part of on this trailer. So it is like telling us that there's a method to all of this madness, that there's a reason that we don't understand yet for everything that happened from Season 1 and all the way up until the end of Season 6 and a decent portion of Season 7 as well, until Clarke and others realize what the purpose is and cross through that anomaly. So it wasn't really survivability. They might have thought it was survivability, but it was about more than that. There was a purpose they didn't know that they need to serve, but now they're about to find out. There is also this one scene with Clarke bringing her mother's ring right after the 132 years ago bit. Now on that scene we hear Clarke say only a few words, "May we meet again." I think that that's also part of the overall Easter egg. I think that the biggest war that mankind is going to wage is in the past. I think it already happened. I think that the biggest war you can wage is most definitely one that you would wage in order to stop the apocalypse to start with. That's pretty much at this point the biggest war, the biggest thing that happened in the history of humanity. I don't think there's possibly anything bigger going forward. This was the biggest. This is the biggest that mankind can wage or is ever going to wage. Now that's why we've got the 132 years ago bit. It's not about the 132 years ago, but rather about more than that, going back enough in time in order to save the Earth to start with from the alley nuclear apocalypse. It's like saying all of this, these 132 years, 132 years ago this mission started, but it's not really about the past 132 years. It's about way before that. It's about 97 years prior to the start of the series, prior to those 132 years, and it's also insinuating that we might have time travel on our hands, have something that will lead to traveling to a distant past, with the major villain of the season being the same major villain that we had a few seasons ago, Allie. In doing this, Clarke will possibly end up meeting her mother again. Not necessarily this version of Clarke, but a version of Clarke that will be born down the road on Earth in quite the very normal and regular environment, having a normal life, spending more time with her mother and probably her father as well. So yeah, that's one way the "May we meet again" bit could work. There's the other way, because they are going to save the Earth, because they're possibly, or Clarke is possibly, going to survive that fight. She's gonna end up meeting her mother again. Maybe not the same mother, maybe not the adult Abby, but she might actually live long enough to meet a young child version of Abby. So that's still on the table as well. That might actually be part of a few final scenes of the series, one in which she meets her mother as a child, talks to her, and it kind of gives you this little bit of an emotional ending to the series. I mean, this would be a beautiful ending, not because they're gonna change time and all of that, but imagine this, these 100 have been sent to Earth at the very beginning of the first season as delinquents, bad apples, ones that were supposed to be floated, but instead it was determined, let's use them as guinea pigs, send them down to Earth, check out if it's still unsurvivable, or if over the years it did become survivable again. But these 100 though, these delinquents would lead to the major change in history, that change that will make the original source of their problem and the consequent problems disappear. I think you could as well appreciate and see the irony in all of that. I mean, delinquents, guinea pigs sent to Earth as a sacrifice, but at the very end, watching the final season, we're gonna realize, oh, they're mankind's saviors. But that though brings us to the final part in that trailer, the part about this being a wormhole, the anomaly that is, and how this wormhole leads everywhere. I think it's actually everywhere in time, possibly everywhere in time and space, but I think, and I'm not confirming here, the emphasis here is on the word think. This is most probably not going to be space alone. I think that this other Eligius mission, or whoever those people were, have been working on this for ages now. They know about the apocalypse, they want to make sure they go back in time and stop it, and they have created the anomaly. The reason that they've never contacted anyone on Sanctum before is they did see the state of Sanctum, the state of Russel, the state of the Primes, whatever was going down there, and they didn't see anyone worthy enough, anyone strong enough, anyone key, as this guy on the trailer mentions, to fighting that final war, to waging and winning that final war. Of course, I do think that that guy talking on that trailer is actually part of that other Eligius mission as well. Now, one final thing before I end this video, and that's also one other thing that I totally forgot mentioning on this week's episode review. I think that what happened with Russel there, the way he ended up becoming Sheidheda, is basically all about that chip, the very one that Jordan gave to him halfway through the episode. So yeah, we do remember that Sheidheda kind of uploaded himself, or at least we had that down at the end of last season, into the system, and basically he might have been on that chip. And that's exactly how the guy managed to gain control of Russel. Of course, the fight was easier. It was not just like the fight with Josephine and Clarke. Josephine and Clarke were both determined to win that fight, that battle between them, so it took a lot longer. In the case of these two though, Russel already wanted to die, wanted to join his daughter and wife. So yeah, it was kind of easy to get rid of him. But that said though, my work here is done, so let me know in the comments down below what you thought of these theories, what you think is going to happen over the course of the season. What do you think the anomaly is, or how it's going to work? Is it going to be space? Is it going to be time? Is it going to be both? What do you think of those other people? Are they part of an Eligius mission? And do you think Clarke is ever going to meet Abby again in any way, shape, or form? One that I mentioned, or one that you could think of? That said as well, let me know if you did like this video by dropping it one of those much appreciated likes, subscribing to this channel, and make sure while you're at it to enable notifications in order to get updates whenever I upload a new video, publish a new community post, or start a new live stream. But until the next time that you tune in for another one of my videos, thank you so much for tuning in to this one. Stay safe and have a great day.